Good evening, and welcome to Creative Broadcasting, the station of unlimited possibilities, presents Creating Your Seat at the Table with your host, Ashley Little, as she welcomes her guest to the table.
Welcome to Creating Your Seat at the Table. I am your host, Ashley Little. A little bit about myself: corporate professional by day, entrepreneur by night, CEO and founder of Ashley Little Enterprises, LLC, four-time best-selling author, owner and creator of Creative Broadcasting, and co-founder and owner of Talk Radio and TV Network, LLP. Tonight we have an amazing special VIP guest by the name of Serena Brown Travis. A little bit about her. Serena Brown Travis is an Ohio native and daughter of the legendary motivational speaker Les Brown. Since her and her family's life, work has been full of positivity, motivation, and inspiration. Having small goals was not an option. While shooting for the moon to land among the stars, Serena earned her Bachelor's of Arts from Hampton University and Master's in Marketing and Communication from Franklin University. She also accepted her call for higher power and is a student at Trinity Seminary at Capital University pursuing theological studies. Serena is motivated about reaching young people and women with her message of positivity, self-esteem, and overcoming obstacles. As a member of Dream, Do, Done, a partnership with other life coaches and motivational speakers, Serena is committed to spreading messages of hope. Outside of viewing the glass half full and acting as a consultant for Les Brown Enterprises, Serena and her husband have recently opened a carry-out soul food restaurant, The Good Kitchen 614, that keeps her incredibly busy. Even while serving food, Serena finds unique creative ways to incorporate messages of inspiration to her growing Facebook food community. Outside of work, Serena enjoys spending time as a volunteer for various nonprofit organizations, singing in the shower, and planning hugs and kisses on her husband, Will, and two daughters, Cindy and Sierra. Welcome to the table, the amazing Serena Brown Travis.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here with you this evening, and I appreciate you having me.
You are welcome. It is definitely a blessing. I'm humbled to have you on the show. I've read your amazing bio. I would love for you to tell us more about your amazing entrepreneur journey.
Oh, well, let me first say that entrepreneurship is not for the weak at heart. I mean, it is exhausting, but it's exhilarating at the same time. So as you read that my father is the legendary motivational speaker, Les Brown. So he was my first role model in the entrepreneurial world. So I saw him take phone calls all day, all night, and, I mean, he was like unstoppable. So I indeed have to give my hustle, per se, or my grind, per se. I've got to give my father credit for that because I watched him do it and do it so well. So my entrepreneurial journey started after college. I graduated to the Great Recession. Yay me. So with that being said, I found a job, but it was just barely paying the bills. And they're like, well, just stick around and you'll move up. Honey, people are getting laid off left and right. And I'm like, oh, this is not going to work at all. Yeah. So with that being said, I remember how old people would always talk about you've got to know how to use your brain and your hands. And so I remember grandfathers would sit around and say, I built this house with my two hands, And so I thought to myself, if anything ever happened, that if I cannot get a job, what would I do to help sustain myself? So my husband, who's a barber, so he's an entrepreneur on his own. I needed to find a hustle for myself, and so we both love to eat. So ironically, we started off with a food truck. That was our first entrepreneurial thing that we did, and it was messy, it was oily, we were stinky, but it was fun, and we were making an impact in the community, and we were making money, and that was one of the most important things. And so we had the food truck for about 8 years. We continued to grow. We've burnt ourselves, obviously, several times, but we continued to grow. We had fun. We had created a name for ourselves in the community, and then just recently we stumbled upon a little carry-out restaurant, and we've been doing that. So, and the funny thing is, I wear entrepreneurial hats in the restaurant world, and obviously also for doing work for my father. So I'm busy, honey.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And I just love the amazing nuggets that you share because, like you said, you grew up in it, right? So you grew up with seeing hustle. Okay.
I grew up seeing hustle, a legal hustle, which is a blessing.
Yes.
I grew up seeing, and I mean, and I laugh when I say that, but I mean that in the best way. The blessing is I grew up seeing a legal hustle. So I mean, I do thank God for that too.
Yes. And then you said, the impact in the community, because it's all about, of course, making money is important, but the impact too, right? It's so important.
Impact, and everyone wants to know how to be rich, how to be wealthy. Impact drives income. If you want to make money, you want to be rich, make an impact. Make an impact on a community, make an impact on someone's life. Think about all the people who have impacted you. One day soon, we want to either take our teacher out for coffee or buy our auntie some flowers just because she impacted our life. If someone impacts your life, you want to do something for them. So if even as a business, you impact someone's life, you impact someone's community, that is what will drive your income.
I love it. And Serena, you have a passion for reaching young people and women with your messages of positivity, self-esteem, and overcoming obstacles. So could you talk to us more about your passion for our young women and young people? Yes,
I would love to. So as you can imagine, growing up in this world of motivation and inspirational speaking, all of my life I've been around conferences and all of this stuff, and I'm thinking, why? Because I grew up with it, it really didn't dawn on me how important it was. How important it was that someone needed to know it's possible. How important it was that people needed to know how special they were. And, those are just like little, I was thinking, those are small words. But the more I continue to grow up and hear people's stories of how they were beaten down by words or how they were overlooked and how that made them feel, it made me look at the overall picture, especially of what my father was doing all of these years, to go, oh my goodness, this is a field that cannot be ignored. It is very important for us to let someone know how special they are. And then my ideology became, what if we only heard positive words? Like, think about if you only heard positive words. Not, she's too fat, she's too little, you're too tall, you're too short. If you only heard, honey, how you are so beautiful and you can do anything and you can reach any goal. And even though we've had teachers and parents and maybe pastors who give us positive and inspirational words, isn't it funny that we can only remember some of the most insulting things people have said to us?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that so bizarre? I can tell you, Ashley, you are so beautiful. You have such a glow about your skin, and oh my goodness, I mean, I've never seen anyone look like you before, and you'll thank me for it. But then all of a sudden, something will creep up that maybe someone told you something otherwise, and then you go, well. So I find that amazing. No matter how many words we're encouraged by, somehow or another, we can call it the devil or we can call it whatever it is, but somehow or another, doubt creeps in all the time. And so my goal was then to say, what if I only use positive words?
Yes.
And it's not as hard as we think it is. Even if a child or even if someone messes up, that you can go, I like what you did there, but can we consider? Can we look at it this way? Like, what if we only heard positive words, Ashley, where would we be?
Right. It would be a beautiful world.
It would be a beautiful world. It would be a beautiful world. And that is really my hope. Realize how damaging words have been even to myself. And so, most people go, well, you're the daughter of the legendary motivational speaker. Like, life was probably good all the time. Honey, that didn't shield me from nothing. You still have you still have those folks, those family members who just aren't happy with their lives, and they're going to make sure that your life is equally unhappy. And so I had to actually go through a process of getting all of those negative words out of my life. I mean, for years I was told I was fat, and then all of a sudden I looked and was like, I ain't that bad. I'm all right. but you know, that's my passion for it, because I just remember how hurtful it was when I really had to sit down in my stuff and try to figure out why my life was stagnant and why I wasn't moving, and I was hanging on to all of the bad things people said about me, which absolutely makes no sense. And so I had to trust in the Lord. I had to open up my Bible. I had to listen to Les Brown as you all would listen to him,
right,
to know the things are possible. Right. I mean, I had to listen to my daddy, but I said he can't be my daddy. Let me listen to him as Les Brown, a motivational speaker. And I had to listen to a lot of people to help get myself out of a rut. But it was helpful, and that gave me my passion to move on with positive words to encourage both young people and adults.
Because, you know, we know how it feels as a grown-up, words, but, you know, with a kid, you know, younger people, we can imagine it's probably double the feeling, right?
Oh, listen. The thing that blew me away when I was doing some of my research and I was looking at my children who were growing up is they're so naturally kind to one another. They want to play together. If someone falls, they help pick them up. Come on, so we can play again. You know, they're just naturally kind. And then along the way, someone hears an insult, someone hears a joke, and then they start, you know, insulting one another and so on and so forth. And so when I looked at that, I said, what could I do to help encourage? So there are plenty of people who, you know, they have affirmations for their children and books on affirmations, and those are wonderful, wonderful starting points. The thing I wanted to do just a little differently is to have the young people use affirmations, but to also start telling stories of children who are in adverse situations. I can almost guarantee you've never read a book at a children's level that address, let's say, homelessness, or a book at a children's level that address mental anxiety, or that addressed a parent leaving home, but, you know, life is still good. And so I wanted to, on top of the positive words piece, I wanted to make sure that I had books that talked about real situations that people could, that the young people could read and say, you know what, I'm in this situation, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. And so, you know, nowadays some of our children, you know, mom is not at work and dad is at work and grandma's in the kitchen baking a sweet potato pie. Some people don't know mom. Some people don't know where dad is, and grandma might be long gone. And so I wanted to create books that showed adverse situations but still showed hope and still had light and still had a way and a method of making it out and still being positive, even if you're in an adverse situation.
And I just want to thank you for creating that space for our young people, because it's so needed definitely with our young people, because of social media and everything that's going on, Serena. I want to touch on that. I want to hear your thoughts on social media with our young people now, because that has played a major part in their self-esteem and how they think of themselves. The likes, they don't get enough likes. Oh my God, they're creating, they're killing themselves. You know, oh my God, it's just a lot. Depression.
It is devastating. What I love social media, you know, it connects us. You know, we can look at fashion, we can look at hairstyles, we can look at those things and get ideas. And so when it's used for that purpose, it's great. But I just recently had a situation with my own daughter that and this is minor, and thank goodness it's minor, but we had a good conversation about it. She ordered a pizza, and then I said, you know how us parents are. I'm like, girl, let me try some. So I ate some. And I'm like, man, this is salty. Oh yes, ma'am. I put salt, pepper, and oregano on it. Okay, oregano's fine. Whoever told you to put salt on your pizza? Oh, I watched it on so and so did it off of social media. What? And so we had to have a conversation. First of all, salt does not go on pizza. We don't need any reason. We don't need any reason for our blood pressure to go up. That's number one. But secondly, I said, honey, you know, I am raising you. My husband and I, we're raising you a certain way. And I said, it's amazing to me that you could watch something, and in just watching one thing, you just implement it immediately. So I said, what are your thoughts on that? So she's just looking like, I mean, it's just salt and pepper. And for me, it was just a little more than just salt and pepper, because you think, okay, we pray together, we eat together, we do all of these things together, and you watch one thing on social media and you put salt and pepper on pizza. Salt and pepper does not belong on pizza.
Right.
So, but then I had a conversation with my husband. If we lost, and I won't say we lost the battle, but if I had to intercept salt and pepper on a pizza, and thank God it was only salt and pepper and oregano that she chose to put on pizza, what else are you feeding your mind that you're going to randomly do because you saw it done on social media? And so we did have to have a conversation, and I said, honey, everything you see, you can't do. I mean, you know, that was basically how Grandma and Grandpa taught us. Well, everything you see the other folks do, you can't do that.
Yes.
You have a different mark on you. You have a different mark of greatness on you. You can't participate in everything that you see everyone else do. And so I think that we are going to have to really emphasize that and reinforce that. And I've honestly started to pray now, God, take away the appetite for foolishness. I mean, because I won't, as a parent, I can't intercept all of it. And I think when we look at our children, our nieces and our neighbors who walk with their head down because they're on their phone watching whatever, we have to now start just praying that God will take away the appetite of foolishness, because we won't be able to stop what they see. Because I mean, all you got to do is type in www whatever, and it comes up. And things are barely even censored even more. You know, so I think that the most important thing is, certainly it's important that children see strong images from us, you know, in person, and we surround them around the right people that reinforce the images that we are. But at the same time, honey, we've got to just pray that the appetite does not exist. It's almost like a comedy versus a horror movie. I'm not a fan of a horror movie at all. I think it's silly to pay to be scared. I'd rather pay to laugh. I don't have an appetite for it. And I think that hopefully we can teach and train our children to not have an appetite for the foolishness, to be in the world and not of the world. And if you're strong enough in a particular situation, to be a beacon of light and hope and a sound mind and a voice of reason to help someone not do something silly.
I love that, and you know, with you using your daughter as an example, like you said, it was minor, but she had a positive environment to go back to, right? And some of our kids, unfortunately, when they're out there and they get caught in that, in social media and influences, they don't have an environment to go back to help them come back, you know? So what are your thoughts on that, about the positive environment for our kids, you know, whether it's they don't have that father figure or mother figure at home, having somebody there, a mentor, getting involved in some, recreational things that can keep their mind focused and on the right track.
Right. Well, we've always heard you are what you eat. And so we know that you are what you read, you are what you see. And so I believe that that's why, you know, in the Bible it says, I'll give you all your eyes can see. So you can see all of it. Now you have to pick what's good for you, what's not good for you. I think number one, it's really tough to think about children not having a good example to go home to. Parenting, good parenting used to be a common denominator among all of us. Be it we had to say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, and yes, sir, no, sir, or someone opens the door for us, we say thank you, or even the idea that we remembered as being a young person, when we see an elder come, that we hold the door for them and we step back and patiently wait for them to cross through the threshold, and then go run and open the other door.
Yes.
And then I remember, if I didn't hold that door fast enough, I got the eye. Like, did you see them coming? And so I remember that certain things used to just be common practice, and what I'm finding now is that common practice is gone. I remember just a couple weeks ago, I was behind a young man. Honey, he opened the door, and that door shut right in my face. And I said, oh, my God, what just happened? So with that being said, I think it's going to be more important for us parents of children, us adults, who just see a dying world of children. I mean, we can't lecture and save everyone, but just a mere example, just a mere example of kindness, that goes a long way. I remember I was in Subway, and this young lady, she was young, and she was correcting her child, and she said, "If you don't straighten up, I'm gonna punch you in the throat." Whoa, I didn't expect the punch you in the throat part. I'm okay with telling your child to straighten up. But the punch you in the throat, the kid was 3. I mean, the kid was 3. So, I'm looking at the kid, and I'm just like, please, God, straighten up. I'm not trying to have any situation here at this local Subway. But when she calmed down, all of a sudden I said, "Oh, I love your shirt, and I love this." And so she was with a group of kids, and so all I did was just plant a whole bunch of compliments, and all of a sudden the atmosphere changed. And so I obviously didn't have enough time or energy or build enough rapport with the young mother to say, dear, let's try to tone down the rhetoric, and maybe we could try to correct a different way. I didn't have enough time to do that. But the idea of me just planting compliments and high fives and I love your outfit, I love your hair, hopefully, prayerfully, it did enough. And maybe my only hope is that they walked away feeling better than they were. But the one thing I can say is it just changed the atmosphere. And it wasn't a tough atmosphere anymore. It became more family friendly. And so I think that we can just try to do our part wherever we are, and we have to assume that young people don't see the best, so that we have to be the best that they see. And then they'll remember, I remember a smile from Ashley Little, or I remember that Serena gave me a high five, and that made me feel so special. And I think that we should try to do that everywhere we go.
Because it takes a village, and we have to remember we wanted to be the person who we needed when we were growing up, right? And we keep that mindset.
Absolutely. And the one thing I'm observing now, even my husband and I, even with our restaurant, is we say, I don't want to get old and angry. I want to still be nice. Sometime, maybe you're old and you're in pain, or life has gotten the best of you. But I think now, if we can start making declarations to be old and happy, old and kind, and so I think that it would be up to us individually just to make sure, even now, Lord, help me to be a beacon of light, to smile at someone that needs a smile, to give a high five to someone who needs a high five, or something. I think that we should strive to do something nice every day, just because, even if it's never reciprocated, I know that I've done my part.
Yes, and what I'm going to ask about next is so disheartening, because it's sad. There's a lot of that going on there with the suicide rate with our young people. What are your thoughts? I mean, it's disheartening.
Yeah, I would have never guessed that the suicide rates have reached ages of 8, 9, and 10, and 11. I mean, those are the years that I just remember being so happy and so carefree. Those are the years I remember being on a swing set, trying to swing as fast as I could possibly swing, and as hard, thinking I could touch a cloud or touch the sun. You remember just playing, just having a good time. And so I think that speaks of the unfortunate reality of what they're living in. I mean, we have a lot of children who watch their parents take drugs and take alcohol, and it's not a loving and caring environment. And so what's sad is that children have lost hope, because parents have lost hope, and hope is not being taught anymore, and hope is not being demonstrated around the house or even in schools. I mean, so the idea that young people are committing suicide, my only hope and prayer is that there are programs that can help intercept those numbers, and that we all of us, even if you have not been affected by suicide, that we try to do something. Again, a simple compliment. I remember when, and this changed my life when I was about 14, when my father spoke at a homeless shelter in Chicago, and this young lady said that she had never received a compliment from anyone without an expectation of something, sexual. So anytime that maybe her uncle or, her father or someone in the neighborhood would give her a compliment, then unfortunately it came with some type of sexual advance. So she had never had a pure compliment. Ashley, I love your hair. She had never had that compliment. And so when she told her story and spoke of how she overcame that situation, how she would how compliments actually to her were more scary because she knew that it came with consequences when she was younger. It was my goal when I was 14 to make sure I gave at least one person a compliment with no strings attached. I think you're beautiful. I think your smile lit up the room with no strings attached. And so I think, again, and I cannot say it more, I think we have to use our words to help move the needle. We have to use our words and use words of positivity to move the needle to help people possibly shift from from being in a negative space to shifting into a positive space.
Yes, and that's so important. Those words, they are so important. Whether, like you stated, whether it's young people or whether it's adults, those words, using those words of affirmation and those positive words are so important.
Absolutely.
And you also have an amazing partnership with Dream Do Done. Could you please tell us more about your partnership and how we can support and get involved?
Absolutely. Well, you have your siblings, you have your cousins,
yes.
You have your play cousins. Well, these young ladies, they are my sister friends. I have Dr. Stacy N.C. Grant. She is a brilliant, bold, beautiful speaker out of New York. And so if you've ever heard of faithpreneur, she coined that phrase, and I mean, she is a woman of faith, and she can speak, she can pray. In fact, she has a conference coming up in about 3 weeks, August 15th, 16th, and 17th in New York that we will be joining her and supporting her conference coming up. So we have Dr. Stacy N.C. Grant, and my other sister friend is my good friend, Tamara Hartley. And so us three, we've decided to come together. We do a weekly podcast, kind of what you're doing, so that's why I jumped at the opportunity to be a part of this with you. And again, I thank you for the opportunity. But we basically have made our private conversations public. So there are times that so, in terms of entrepreneurship, in terms of success, in terms of whatever it is that we're going through. We first started off just coaching one another. I was the one who needed the most coaching. I had a major business project that was ahead of me, and those two young ladies, they are brilliant. Tamara is a brilliant marketer. Stacy is a strategist, and so they both worked together to help me pull off this conference, and thank God the conference was a success, and then everybody became friends. And so we would literally talk on a weekly basis, laugh together, cry together, pray for one another, encourage one another, give each other strategies for whatever it is that we needed at the time. And so Tamara Hartley had this bright idea that, guys, we may as well let our conversations go public. So, I mean, we talk about our kids, our husbands, everything. And so what I love about it is we started it in January, and since January until now, life has still happened. There have been deaths, there have been ups, there have been downs, and, I mean, almost every Monday without fail, we have come together to still give strategies on life, strategies on success, strategies on business. We have even shared some of our pitfalls, places where, we've had some challenges. I know all of us had this amazing, we're going to lose 100 pounds in January weight loss goal. Well, obviously that didn't happen, and the idea how to set realistic goals, how to pick yourself up when you didn't reach your goal, how to dust yourself off and try again. All of the things that you would talk about with your sister friends, and your sister friends, those are the good ones. Those are the ones you kind of just let it all hang out with. So we have a great time with Dream Do Done. And again, if you all are available or free, join us, please, August 15th, 16th, and 17th in New York. Go to faithpreneur.com or stacyncgrant.com just to get more information. But it is going to be a wonderful weekend, and I cannot wait to spend time with my sister friends.
So please support this amazing conference. Go get your tickets now. And Serena, let them know how they can follow your podcast and listen and support your podcast.
Sure. So you can go to Facebook, type in Dream Do Done, and we'll easily pop up. Or you can find me, Serena Brown Travis, or author Serena Brown Travis. And then also I recently quit running from the Lord, so I'm also sitting in the pulpit now every Sunday.
Yes.
So you can also so you can also just find Pulpit Chick on Facebook, and every now and again I'll post something or make a valid observation about some of my activities in church. One of the things that I did have is I was running away from the church, and so certainly I couldn't find any more dresses because I stopped buying dresses. But, you can't sit in the pulpit with pants on. My church is still a little old school. So I had a dress, and obviously it was a little too short. Honey, I had about 5, 6 little lap cloths helping to cover my legs. And so just observations that I made, even about the lap cloth. I mean, I could have been offended. I could have said, this is me. This is how I dress. But I just thought how wonderful that they have given me lap cloths. And it reminded me of how God had covered me when I was trying to run away from him. So just little small observations. And I have a sense of humor, too. So the idea that I'm in a church and everybody's like 80 years old and I'm like in my 30s still, just fun stuff. You remember when people open peppermint patties and butterscotch in church, and you'd be like, dude, we can hear you. Right. We can absolutely hear you. Just little observations. So you can find me at Pulpit Chick, and then or just Serena Brown Travis. And I mean, I'm easy to find. You can start typing in Serena Brown, and then you'll find me. I'm easy to find.
And you also, super congratulations on your book, The Magnetic Entrepreneur, Our Vision, Volume 1, and The Magnetic Entrepreneur for Women Leadership. You are an international best-selling author and a forward author in one of the books.
I know. What a blessing. What's funny is this gentleman had tracked me down. His name is Robert J. Moore. And so I get inboxes from people all the time, people who want to get closer to my dad, or, hey, can you get me an autograph? Just all kind of crazy stuff. And you know how inboxes are. You know, you accept someone as a friend, and 2 seconds later they're saying hi, and you're like, what in the world did I just do? So he approached me like that, and I'm like, okay, guy, listen, I'm going to, unfriend you, block you, what the heck? And so he was very gentle in his approach, and he said, hey, I see, I just want to help you. I want you to do a forward for me. I've looked at your writing. I looked at, what you've done. So I kind of pushed him off for a long time, and so then I said, okay, fine. If I do it, just leave me alone. Well, of course, that was a setup. But Robert J. Moore has, in fact, been a huge blessing to myself and to all the other people who have contributed to the book, all of my co-authors who, sometimes it's hard to tell your story. It's hard to really be honest and reveal your truth. And so he is a counselor by nature, and, he has worked, and a coach, and he has worked with each and every one of the authors, including myself. I said, well, if you're going to keep on bugging me, I'm going to go ahead and go through the process just like everybody else. And so I'm so grateful for, the journey that we've gone through together, the work that has come out of it, and the books are phenomenal. So find Robert J. Moore, Magnetic Entrepreneur, as you mentioned. So the women have shared some dynamic stories. And it's not fluff. I love stories that you can expose all of it and then have strategies on how to get over your hurt or how to get over your business issues or any of those things. Those are the stories that keep us going. We have to, as you know, continue to feed our minds with stories of positivity just in case we get discouraged. And so I love all of the stories that are in the book, and I even opened up and talked about myself, which is something I usually would not do. But I did it. It's done. It's out there. It's in print. So go get the book.
Yes, go get the book. So how can they go and purchase your book and support you?
Right, so I appreciate that question. So Amazon is a wonderful thing. So all you have to do is just go to Amazon, and you can type in Robert J. Moore, and all of his books will come up. And, of course, the one that I wrote the foreword for and the other one that I contribute to, those are ones that are the best, of course.
Yes.
And then if you want any of my children's books, you would just again go to Amazon and type in Serena Brown Travis, and I have 2 of the books out right now, and I will be looking forward to releasing the third one probably maybe before the end of the year, if not by January. I just want to make sure I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I want to make sure everything is everything and make sure it's right. But yeah, like I said, I'm really easy to find. So Serena Brown Travis on Amazon, and everything will pop up. Just the idea that you would even mention on how to support, I really appreciate you, not just interviewing me, but, even pushing or helping to encourage people to just check me out. So I appreciate you, Ashley.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you too, Serena, because I really do believe and live by that we all can win, right? We all can
not only, listen, I love that concept. Not only can we all win, there's enough out there for everybody. So the idea that I'm on your podcast, I'm not stealing your thunder, you're not stealing my thunder. I mean, you have to have collaborative, achievement-driven relationships, and that's the only way we're going to make it. And so that is why you're doing an amazing thing, and the God is going to continue to bless you, what you're doing here and beyond.
Thank you so much. I'm humble, and I receive that. Thank you.
All right. You just make sure you give me your 10%. No, I'm just playing.
Awesome. And Serena, this next question, I know you already built your seat at the table. You already built your own table. But I always ask my guests, how did you create your seat at the table? And I know you started at a very young age.
You know what? It was, at first, I'm going to be honest, it was just through observations. I observed a lot growing up. A lot of people always ask me, what was it like being Les Brown's daughter? What is it like? And it's okay. It has its ups, it has its downs, but I observed a lot. And so I think after being quiet for so long, after observing, after going through my own, set of hurts and pains and, being skipped over, whatever that was, I built my seat at the table. First of all, I had to step out on faith, and not just step out on faith, on top of stepping out on faith, rather, I had to actually step into my truth. And so I had to trust that when I started to, go through my process of truth and finding my purpose and all that God was going to still cover me and keep me and smile on me as I went through the journey. And then after that, I started to move. I started to move and put action to my dream and put action to what I heard God telling me to do. And so that was how. I don't think I have a seat at the table yet, but I'm getting close.
I love
I'm
that
getting
you said
close.
Action.
I'm sorry?
All of that. I love how you said that, taking action and that execution, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The one thing some of us do, I know I was doing, if we have a faith-based walk, we say, well, God is going to do it for us. No, boo-boo. God will get you to a point, but he's got to work through you. He's not going to do it. He's got to work through you to make it happen. And so I believe that God blesses movement. We've got to move. We got to make it happen. And so, that.
Hello?
Are you still there, Ashley?
Yeah, I think we had like a technical difficulties, but we're back.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
yes. So I believe that, and I definitely agree with that. And I know with our journeys, we all have to embrace the pain and endure, because that's part of getting to the next level. So what did failure teach you on your journey?
I think I wanted to fall off the journey. How about that? Let's have a moment of honesty.
Right.
I just wanted to just chill. You know how you just want to work, maybe just a mediocre job, make just enough just to get by, not create any waves. I don't want my dad's thunder. I'm not trying to step in his field. I'll just be helpful behind the scenes. And I think that sometimes life will jolt you into action. And so I had a series of it seemed like everything was going wrong in my life. I mean, it was like everything. My kids were acting up. My husband and I were in counseling every week. I mean, just everything was cutting the food. And so I'm not foolish. I'm like, okay, now listen, God, you must be trying to tell me something, okay? So how about you stop all this thunder from happening in my life, and then I'll start listening to what you have to say. And so, there's a quote that says, if you don't move on life, life will move on you. And so, there are times that people get laid off from a job and they're devastated, but maybe a couple months later they found a new passion or another door has opened that's, far more exhilarating, far more satisfying than anything else. So I was the type, my world had to literally almost turn itself upside down in order for me to take action. And so that's what happened to me. I'm one of those people, you could tell me not to do something, I'd be like, okay, like I ain't gonna move no further. But but if I got uncomfortable, and unfortunately I got uncomfortable and I was tired of sitting on the nail of mediocrity and pain and hurt and all of that, so my life literally turned itself upside down, and I started moving it, obviously, hopefully, in the direction that God is pleased.
And you know what? You spoke about something that stood out so much, being uncomfortable, right? That's where we're growing, and I know a lot of us do not like to be uncomfortable. I had to learn that too. It hurts, right? But it's good. It's good.
Listen, comfort is my best friend. But again, I mean, if you came to my house, and everyone says this, every chair, I don't care where you sit, everywhere you sit down in my house, you're going to fall asleep because I literally make sure that every piece of furniture in my house is comfortable. So I love to be comfortable. And you know how people like to, I could tolerate pain. Oh, not me. If I feel one speck, I'm like, wait a minute. So the minute that my life got uncomfortable, I said, okay, I got to fix this. I got to turn this around. What is it that I'm supposed to be doing that's going to push me closer to my purpose?
Yes. And I think, once we all learn that's going to be part of the process, I think we'll handle it better. But I don't think anybody really likes pain for real, right? But I think we know we have to endure it.
Right. Yeah, no one likes pain. But, I've met the most people, I can endure. No, not me. No. I have a high tolerance for pain. Not I. So no, find me relief immediately.
I love that. So what did success teach you, Serena? Because you're very successful. So what did success teach you?
Oh, well, it taught me to be humble. It taught me to be humble. And I appreciate you saying, matter of fact, I'm going to receive you saying I am very successful. When you're when you're being an entrepreneur and you're moving and doing this thing on a day in, day out basis, there are times you forget to take a breath and look to see how far you've come. And so thankfully, I remind myself to just say, okay, how are we doing? How's everything going? But I think that being humble is still it's still the best thing because you can have it today and it can be gone tomorrow. You can have it today and you can have a couple bills to take you all the way out. Any entrepreneur knows, be it, you have enough money and you start buying your book and then all of a sudden maybe there's an error in the book or something happened and then you've got to buy another round of books and then no one buys the books. I mean, literally anything can happen. So being humble, being grateful for where you are, for where the journey has taken you, and always showing gratitude to everyone in the process. Even for the folks who have become a thorn in your side, I still have gone back. Hey, I appreciate you being great. I appreciate you being who you are in my life. And the best part is their face. Their face gives you more right, because their face is looking like, I intended to hurt you. Oh, you intended, boo, but you weren't. In fact, you became my footstool. So I appreciate you being in your position.
Yes. It's kind of like what Tyler Perry said at the wars, prepare a place for me in the presence of my enemies, right?
Indeed.
He would do that. God would do that.
Indeed. Yes. Indeed, and there's nothing sweeter. And even when that happens, to still have gratitude, to still be humble, and to be grateful that the enemy's trick didn't win against you.
I love that. I love that. Serena, so I just want you to tell us what can we expect from you the rest of 2019. I consistently follow you, and you've been doing some amazing things throughout this year. We're in quarter 3 now. So what do we expect from you the rest of 2019?
Right. Well, listen, first of all, you can expect more of this. I mean, actually, I want to thank you again for giving me, for pushing me, for reaching out to me. This has given me, I've been nervous this entire phone call, but this has given me. Right. Okay. Well, thank the Lord. But this has given me confidence to now make myself available for more podcasts, for me even doing perhaps a video blog. And so I've thought about starting that, especially with the positive words. You're certainly going to hear more about the books coming out. I'm also working on a book for folks my age, just of encouragement and how to get over struggles and all of those things. So you're going to hear more from me in the book world, in the video world, perhaps even in the blog world. And I'm just going to keep on pushing. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop. But I want to thank you for reaching out and making me do this and giving me a push to. No, I'm serious. This is indeed a faith walk for me, and so I appreciate you doing this to me. I really do. Expect a thank you letter in the mail. I really do appreciate you.
Thank you so much, and I'm so honored and humbled, Serena, and you just pretty much, I want listeners to understand this, like, when you want something, you go after it, right? And you have to be okay with rejection, and one thing about me, I'm going to shoot my shot, right? Whether Serena would have said yes or no, I would have still, took the initiative, right? And that's what I want listeners to understand, that, nobody's going to give you anything, so whatever you want, go after it and go for it.
Right. Right. And, and even in my case, do it scared. I was thinking about saying no, like, wait a minute. But I said, okay. I said yes, right? I said, okay, fine, I'll do it. And when you do it, if you have to do something that's foreign, do it scared. That's it. Do it scared.
Do it scared. So how can our listeners, one more time, follow you on all social media platforms?
Right. So you can follow me, Serena Brown Travis. It's spelled just like the tennis player. Serena Williams has made my life so much easier. So Serena, Serena, Brown, Brown, Travis, TRAV like Victor, IS. You can just Google me, and literally everything will come up, probably even my home address. I mean, Google has made everything. I mean, it puts everything out. So, nonetheless, Serena Brown Travis, you can Google me. On my website, it's author Serena Brown Travis. On Facebook, it's the Pulpit Chick or Serena Brown Travis. And I have it where everything is all linked. So if you want to be my friend, you can even be my friend. I'll accept you as my friend, but don't be poking me 2 seconds later. Don't do that.
Right. Right.
Just be my friend. Just be a cool friend, and you'll be A-okay.
Yes. It's called relationship currency and building genuine relationships. That's what
Amen.
it's called.
Yeah. I mean, because we all need one another, even just for inspiration. I mean, we can all lean on one another, all inspire one another, all encourage one another. And then if there's something that I see that you need or vice versa, I mean, we're all resources to one another. So that is the best part about, these social media platforms.
Yes, it is. And Serena, I just want to thank you again. As I stated, it's a blessing to be able to have you at the table today and taking time out of your very, very busy schedule, and most of all saying yes. And this was an amazing and powerful interview, and I can't wait to invite you back to the table.
Oh, well, I appreciate you, and I look forward to a future invitation. I'll keep you posted on things happening in my life. I want you to do the same for me. We're going to be sister friends here shortly.
Yes, we are. I'm claiming that, right? Yes, we are.
Indeed.
Yes. So thank you again, and many blessings to you.
You as well. I appreciate you, and I look forward to staying connected.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So I would like to give Thank you. So I would like to give a special thanks to Tammy Collins Marquis and John Schamberger. I would also like to give a special thanks to author Kimberly McLemore and my intern Sarah from Tennessee State University and my other intern Savon from Virginia Commonwealth University. You all may follow me on Facebook at Ashley Little and on Instagram at _Ashley A. Little. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Creating Your Seat at the Table, where Ashley speaks with corporate professionals.